used to say that again, this comes from employing a lot of people, that we all have invisible PR, and it shows up in the moments that matters the most, but it's built in the moments that seem to matter the least.
Yeah.
And the example I always think of is working in the New York office many years ago, and getting a message from my team member just saying, "Oh, Jenny's so nice. Tim tripped over, and Jenny immediately got up from her desk and ran across to the first aid kit and sorted him out. She's so nice." And I'd hear that 3,000 miles away. And then a year later, I'd be sat with Jenny during her promotion conversation.
Yeah.
And that one thing she did, that small thing she did, was often the time where I'd go, do you know what, this person is a certain type of person and we should double down on them. I don't know what they're going through that day, but it always,
But that brings it around like full circle, because like we just said, you can have those little moments where it's the rock wall, right? Where little moments of connection, of presence, of real authenticity, of them being with you that you'll remember forever. And I bet, if I had to guess, there's a moment in Stephen at the playground growing up that or a teacher, somebody in your life said something that was nice and you've remembered forever. That playground Stephen, where somebody said something hurtful, or rude, or said something about how you look or your appearance. Maybe not even recess, but sometime in your life.
Oh yeah.
And it was just something, maybe it was about, for a lot of people, it's like their weight or their appearance or their looks. And they've carried that around with them forever. And that, like, without knowing it, that person gave you an insecurity for the rest of your life. And so it's so wild to me how the positive is remembered, the negative is remembered much longer and travels a lot farther. When I ask that to a group that I'm talking to, their hands are always way more raised for the negative, for the one thing, that the power of your words lasts way longer than you'd ever think. The ripple effect will affect people you've never met. Think of the people who you've touched and the people you've never met, but yet they have a perception of you based 3 persons down, right? And how I talk to my kids will affect how they talk to their kids and their kids. Children I'll never meet. And when you realize that how I talk to the person behind the cashier affects how he or she talks to their kids when they go home, based on what I said, will determine whether they come home and say, I had a really bad day, I had a really hard day. And it's because of what I said, because I was rude or I was impatient because they didn't get it to me fast enough. And all of a sudden, without knowing, just as much as the positive lasts, so does the negative. It's now what I chose to say is responsible for how they're treating their own kids.